What the hell is up? You fucking cunts! Introducing episode 7... I don't know, that kind of felt... I thought that would be funnier. But, oh well, I shouldn't have cut myself off like that. Introducing episode 76 of Resident Bummer, the Fulcrum, which is your host, talking right now. He's not so tired this time around, which is great. Can probably be a little bit more energetic. So that's good. Episode 76 is actually going to be the 77th episode that I've ever uploaded. Mental health check is still right around a 4. If I had to be totally honest. Physical health check. 8. 8. Let's go with that. Motivation check. An 8 or a 9, you know. I am worthy of consideration, and with that, it is time to read my journal. If I had it open, oh my goodness, how unprepared. I need to, first of all, silence my phone so no fucking notifications come through as I'm recording. And then I will set it right there. Okay, should be good to read it. This is, we're starting with Friday, July 3rd, and our first entry is Set 76, Day 1, 10:30 a.m. I wake up, I shit, I shower, I brush, and I edit episode 75, then upload it, or set it for upload. Schedule it, I guess. 11:20 a.m. I dress and drive into work. I ignore Anna, and I say hi to Rich. 6 p.m. Work sucked, and it was also boring. So the next entry is, I clock out, I drive home, and I start streaming in Server 0 before reading a chapter of The Cole Protocol. 11:40 p.m. Chapter 64 has been read. Then I play Baldur's Gate 3 with Penny. We explore the beginning of Act 3, and then I leave to watch the movie 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea with Jack. I liked it. I thought it was a pretty good movie with some pretty darn good special effects, especially for the time it was made. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. It sounded like Jack couldn't quite figure out how much he liked it. He'd have to give it a little more thought. But after that, I say goodnight to Jack. Then I try to find... oh boy. Then I try desperately to find someone to hook up with for the rest of the night. Just swapping between all of my dating apps. Swiping like crazy, like a madman. Anyways, we're going to move on to Saturday, July 4th. This is Set 76, Day 2. 11 a.m., I wake up. I almost have sex, but then they fall asleep and forget to respond, so that's great. They don't message me again. So I have a couple of hours to kill before work. I lay in bed trying to wake up, but I'm still tired when I get out of bed. I dress and drive into work. I say hi to Bernard and Ben before Bernard ends up leaving. I watch the front counter while Ben grabs some bags of ice from the big store. Oh, this is Independence Day, isn't it? Yeah, we were getting sold out of ice like crazy because everyone was throwing a barbecue and coming in for their big bags of ice. Let's see. While I'm at work, I just randomly think to myself, I should probably just send an additional message to Jack. I just texted him and I was like, hey, thank you for watching the movie with me. I really appreciate it, or something like that. Of course, while I type it out, I just start crying for no good reason, because I'm just helpless. But moving on, 12 p.m. I read The Andromeda Strain at work. I think I mentioned that book on the last episode. It's the most recent book that I have now finished. I actually finished that last night. I was going to say earlier today at work, but that's not true. Finished reading The Andromeda Strain, so that's cool. I thought it was a good book. Actually, I'll get to that later when I actually journal about finishing reading it. Let's see. Apparently I also have a date set up. Oh my gosh. I can't wait for absolutely nothing to come out of it, which is exactly what happened. Very, very, very predictive with this journaling. But hey, at least I got it right. 3 p.m., I clock out, drive home, and get ready for my date. And then I take off for the park. 5 p.m., the date was fun. She is very, very spazzy. Just seems like her mind is in a million different places at once. We head back to my place, because the park is right next to my place. Watch a little bit of TV and drink some water. She drinks ice water. We ran out of ice, so I just had regular water. Non-iced. As we're watching, I did try and get her to watch some Community. Best show ever, by the way. She got like 5 minutes into the episode, and she was like, "Okay, this is triggering my PTSD. We have to do something else." It's like, oh, okay. So we go over to my freezer. She eats an ice cream bar out of there, and then she ends up leaving for the night. 6:30 p.m. I stream Baldur's Gate 3 in G-Zone. I am also about to read another chapter of the Cole Protocol. 11 p.m. I don't end up reading quite yet. Instead, I leave to meet the girl that I just met out of the park. She texted me and was like, "We should go to a bar." So I meet her at the bar, and she does not have an inside voice. She was speaking at a volume where I'm pretty sure everybody in the bar could hear us, and she was talking mainly about this one guy that she said that she hooked up with the night before or sometime during the week, very recently, let's just say that. And I'm paraphrasing, but essentially she was just like, I don't know what she said, but apparently it's hard to explain. I'll try and explain it in as few words as possible. Apparently he was putting it in her ass, and she didn't want to do anal, but he didn't care. So, yikes. But she was saying all this, using an outside voice. So the people at the bar could hear us. The bartender could hear us, I'm assuming. There was one time where the bartender came up with our drinks. I just got water, but she was just talking about anal sex. She was saying it like that exact phrase too. She was like, "I didn't want to have anal sex with him, but he made me have anal sex with him." And I was like, "Girl, what the fuck are you?" First of all, lower your voice. Second of all, do you really think that this is good material to be talking about on a first date, or like the second half of a first date? But whatever. I don't. Personally, I wasn't like freaked out or offended or anything like that. I was just more bewildered. I was like, "Holy fuck." I was definitely a little embarrassed to be sitting at the table with her, though. Like, I hoped that the other patrons at the bar were not, judging. I mean, I'm never going to see any one of them again. And if I do, they're not going to recognize me as the anal sex bar guy. But, I heard, this is a weird side note, but I did hear some of the people at the bar talking about Halo, which is dope. One of them said ODST, which is interesting. Anyways, I feel like I should move on to the next journal entry now. So I think I'm going to do that. Let's see. We walk out to, so we're still in the bar, but there are fireworks going off. Or at least we can hear some maybe going off outside. So we decide to stand up and leave the bar, and we walk over to an apartment complex that's nearby the bar. And we can't get into the pool area, obviously, it's locked up, but there are like tables around the pool area, and we sit down at one of those tables. We lean on each other for a while, and then she says eventually that she better go home and sleep. There was a lot of her talking about like, I think I need to go to the hospital and get myself admitted. I think I really want to burn my parents' house down. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't think we'll be seeing each other again. She hasn't texted me, though, and I'm certainly not going to text her back, so. The search continues. Anyways, let's see. Where's my next? Okay, here we go. Penny sent me a video during the week. I think it must have been either on the 4th or the 3rd. I can't remember exactly when now. But It was from a channel that she told me about. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned the channel. It's like a... honestly, I haven't seen anything about the channel that has to do with gaming, but the name of the channel would imply. I think, what is it called? Healthy Gamer GG is the name of the channel. But yeah, I haven't really seen anything about video games on it, which, to be fair, seems like the least useful of the two. Video games or improving your mental health? I know which one I would pick. Well, that's not true. I know which one I pick every day, and it's not mental health. Anyways, I'm getting sad. Let's see. Where was I? Fuck, I lost my place. Oh, okay, here we go. This was definitely a moment where it took me like a couple of hours to formulate the beginning of my messages. And then eventually, when I started thinking about what I was going to say, then it started flooding in. But man, I don't know why it takes so fucking long like that. It just takes, like, in my opinion, far too long. I should be able to come up with an answer a little bit quicker than that, but I don't know. It's upsetting, I guess. Oh yeah, I do cry while I'm trying to think of my answer, but I finally think of one. I hope that it is sufficient. I did bring up one or two things that I've been thinking about, which is cool. Like there was, I don't remember, well, I'm sure nobody would remember it, but a few, like 4 or 5 episodes ago, or maybe more than that, I watched the movie The Wild Robot with someone from a Discord server. I think I called them Flutter. But there was one moment where after the movie, they were talking to me and they were crying, and man, I just realized I don't think this matters. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to move on to the next journal entry. I'm going to leave that thought half complete. Let's see. Anyways, I read chapter 65 of the Cole Protocol. Then I chill for the rest of the night. There we go. Moving on to Sunday, July 5th. This is set 76, day 3. 12:30 p.m. I wake up, I look at Penny's response, and I cry in bed for a while, trying to think of my next answer. Which, again, takes too long, at least in my opinion. And then I plan to read the Cole Protocol after that. 4:30 p.m. I do read chapter 66 of the Cole Protocol. Then I stream some Baldur's Gate 3 for a while in server 0. Red Spicy joins at one point, and another random person from server 0 joins as well. I have not named them yet. I don't suspect I ever will. I'm not going to lie. But they both say that they're going to go cook eventually after an hour or two, and I make some nuggets myself. I eat them, and then I start watching a movie with Madeline called Triangle. It almost feels like a horror movie so far. I looked it up. It is a horror movie, so... 6 p.m. Movie is good, but confuses me. There's a lot of questionable decisions, but I would give it the movie like a 7 out of 10. Probably worth one watch at least, for most people. Moving on, 11:30 p.m. Madeline takes a nap. I play Baldur's Gate 3 until Penny joins. We talk about some stuff. I cry pretty early into our conversation, but it passes pretty quickly, and I don't think I really showed it in my voice. I wouldn't, well, I mean, half of me would be surprised if Penny noticed, but the other half probably wouldn't be, I guess. It's the easiest way to say that. Then we just end up chilling and playing our Baldur's Gate 3 run, going through Act 3, more of Act 3, until I head downstairs to eat with my sister and my parents. The food is very yummy. My nephew poops in the pool that we have out on the deck of our house, so that's cool. We have to clean him up. And then I go back upstairs eventually. I stream some Baldur's Gate 3 for the rest of the night, and it doesn't seem like anything else really happened. I probably read a little bit of the Andromeda Strain, but there were a few nights where I just didn't even touch it. But anyways, that's not important. What is important is that we are moving on to Monday, July 6th. This is set 76, day 4. At 2 p.m. I wake up, I shit, I shower, I brush, and then I drive into work. I say hi to Rich and goodbye to Bernard. I get working and watch the front counter until Rich sends me into the kitchen to cook. I also read some more of the Andromeda Strain. Good book. Although, compared to the other books that Michael Crichton has written, probably, well, at least the ones that I've read, I would probably, I don't know. I would go, number 1 is Lost World, number 2 is Sphere, number 3 is Jurassic Park, number 4 is the Andromeda Strain. And I think those are the only 4 books that I've read from him so far. I do need to get into some other authors as well. I can't lie. I need to diversify. Let's see. Oh yeah. Before I end up leaving work at 2:20 p.m., I listened to some more of Penny's playlist of clinic songs that she acquires from her patients. And I don't know, could you consider them clients? I don't know what the proper terminology would be. I think patient is definitely acceptable. I don't know if you could use anything else to describe them. But anyways, I don't want to let the playlist build up to the length that it was when I tried to. I think there was a initial finding out about it. That's not how I wanted to say that, but whatever. So I found out about the playlist. Penny showed it to me, and she was like, "Hey, look at this." And I was like, "Oh, this is cool." I went through all the songs up until that point. And then I didn't look at it for like a month, probably, or maybe 2 months. Something like that. Too long. And then I looked back and I was like, oh my fucking God, there's a lot of songs to go through now. So then like a couple weeks ago I went through, or maybe a few weeks ago, I don't know. I went through most of the playlist, and now there's been a few more songs added to the bottom of the playlist. So I went through all of those before I left work. I believe, what? Now I have to go and check my playlist because, oh my God. Of course, Spotify just fucking glitched and started playing at max volume. Incredible. That was the sound of the intro to the Rooster Teeth podcast. Cool. Anyways, I was going to look up what songs I added from Clinic Tunes. And now I have to vamp until I scroll to the bottom of the list. I added, so I ended on Made of Glass, the last time I went through it, by Trapt, T-R-A-P-T is the artist's name. But after that, there was maybe 20 or 30 songs, it looks like. I added Float On by Modest Mouse, Werewolves of London by Warren Zevon, or Zevon. I actually don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'm surprised that one wasn't already in my playlist. I thought that was in there, but I guess I missed out on it. So now, thankfully, I was able to add that in. And then Cloud Mode was the last song out of the new batch that I added to my playlists. Very nice, very nice. Thank you for the songs, Penny. I guess I should be thanking your patience, but I wouldn't be listening to the songs if Penny wasn't putting them in the playlist. Let's be real. Let's be realistic about it. Okay, we're going to move on to, excuse me, move on to the next entry, but I don't know what that would be. Here we go. 4:30 p.m. I think a lot while I am at work, but I try to read and get my mind away from itself. 5 p.m. it kind of works. I cry a little bit at work, but not really a crazy amount. Quite small in comparison to some of my other fits. I can't wait to clock out and get home, but I've got nothing to do when I get there. Oh, darn it. 6 p.m. I clock out, drive home, stream Baldur's Gate 3, and read Chapter 67 of the Cole Protocol. Well, that sounds like you got something to do to me, you fucking retard. You just did 2 different things, and you say you don't have anything to do when you get home? God, I'm fucking stupid. Maybe gonna read some more of the Andromeda Strain for tonight, but I'm mainly playing Baldur's Gate 3 for now. That was at 6 p.m. Moving on to 2 a.m. Penny ends up joining the voice channel. We play through some more of Act 3, and then she hops offline. I play more of my single-player run, my Dark Urge run, and I stream in Cool Tank and Server Zero. Also, I swap I guess. I also started a movie server with Madeline earlier at work, but I have not edited it yet. Edited it. Anyways, I read The Andromeda Strain until I can't keep my eyes straight. I'm getting too tired, so I put the phone down and I go to bed. Which means we're going to be moving on to Tuesday, July 7th, set 76, day 5 at 2 p.m. I wake up, shit, shower, brush, and stream Baldur's Gate 3 in Server 0. I read Chapter 68 of the Cole Protocol, and then I message with Badourz for a bit. 4 p.m. I do mention my shitty little podcast to him, and he digs at me with some questions. We love to see it. I think about my answers as I type them out, and I cry while I do so. He's asking about my friends and family and why I wouldn't think to share my thoughts with them and instead share them here. Yeah, it's so much easier. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but holy cow, it really is. It's just a lot easier to talk to yourself. Because you can give yourself a lot of wiggle room. It's like there are definitely times where I say something wrong or trail off and I have no idea what I'm talking about. It's pretty easy for me to just go, hey, we're going to move on. And we're not even going to think about how awkward that last bit was. Because I know if I really don't want to, I don't have to care about how awkward it was. It's pretty easy to overlook. I guess. Sometimes. Maybe sometimes it's not so easy. Let's see. Madeline may want to watch a movie at some point today, but she has not specifically asked me yet. So I'm waiting on that front. We will have to see. I may read some The Andromeda Strain today. I don't know yet. But moving on to the next entry, 5 p.m., me and Madeline and one of Madeline's friends, we watched The Substance. And also, I guess I can mention that girl. Oh, yeah, on the last episode, there was a girl I matched with from Kazakhstan. That's totally gone. Nothing's happened. We haven't sent a message in a few days. So I'm pretty sure that one's out the door. I mean, I wasn't expecting her to fly over from Kazakhstan or me to fly over to Kazakhstan, but damn, we even added each other. I'm stumbling, bro. I'm stumbling. Stop stumbling over your words. We even added each other on Discord. And I tried to, I sent one message out. I was like, is there any movies maybe you'd want to watch, like, one of these nights? Or I think the other one, I was like, any TV shows? We could watch that TV show, Skins, that you were telling me about. But nah. I'm not getting the reciprocal effort that I would care for. So I'm not going to message her again. Most likely. 5:30 p.m. I chat with Badourz for a little bit longer, and then I cry again. What the fuck? Little baby. 6:30 p.m. The movie is gross, and it's also very weird in the editing department. I feel like there's a couple of decisions where it's like, what in the fuck? Why did they edit it like this? Moving on, though. 9:30 p.m. I send my channel to Badourz at one point, and then I do absolutely nothing for a while, like a way too much nothing, but like the bad kind of nothing, where it's like, penny knows. 12:40 p.m. I talk about D&D, then Jack/Red, short for Red Spicy, the person that I have named, go to bed. They wait. Oh yeah. We were texting about, because the group was split up in our last D&D sessions. We were texting about where our characters were and what we wanted them to do and how we were going to try and get them to reconnect with the rest of the group. But anyways, I spend another couple of hours doing nothing but scrolling my phone, looking at random shit. It feels awful whenever I'm sitting in my chair and I just look up to see what time it is. And it's like, oh man, an hour and a half has passed. And I've done, absolutely nothing? What the fuck? And then I just look down and do it for another 3 hours. It's like, why? Wish I had something to do. Fuck! Anyway. Wednesday, July 8th. This is set 76, day 6, 10 a.m. Wake up early, shit, shower, brush, and stream Baldur's Gate 3 in server 0. But I don't end up playing it like at all. I do read chapter 69, nice, of the Cole Protocol. But then I look for something else to do. 11:30 a.m. I read a few chapters of the Andromeda Strain and don't know what else to do. I play some Baldur's Gate 3 here and there, but now I've kind of hit a wall where I don't really want to play it anymore, at the moment at least. Gotta find something else to do. 3 p.m. Never mind, I play a little bit more Baldur's Gate 3, but it doesn't really hit the spot, if you know what I'm saying. 9 p.m. I read a lot of the Andromeda Strain, and it starts getting pretty darn good. Stuff starts picking up. It takes about half of the book for all of the setup to, fully come through, and then people start going crazy, and shit starts going wrong. But anyways, let's see. D&D happens after I get done going through Act 1 and arriving at the creche in my single-player run. But I swap over to the Dungeons & Dragons server, Discord server, and for the first hour, we end up focusing on the other half of the party. We got split up in the last session, but we quickly find each other during this session, which is nice. 2 a.m., we finish the session, and then I talk with Jack and Chud and Red for a while afterwards, until they all hop off, but I talk with Chud, mano-y-mano, for a while. I do remember telling Penny in the voice channel one time that I don't really know what to say when I'm alone. Not specifically with Chud. There's a lot of people like this. Most people, I would say. But I don't really know what to say when I'm alone with him. I can usually play off of him and, take what he said and then build upon it. And then he takes what I built upon and he's like, oh, maybe I could build upon this with even more talking. And it's, it's never awkward, I wouldn't say. Maybe here and there, but anyways, this time we talked about a story written in the written in 2 AD. I was going to say in the 2nd century, but I don't think that would be correct. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't want to do that time math right now. But it was a old ass story called A True Story. Written by some guy named Lucian or Lucian. I can't remember. Let's see. We got done talking about Dune, and somehow, or just randomly, I decided to mention A True Story, which was written a long ass time ago. I also want to say that I don't think it's either of ours fault, or this goes for anybody really. I think we just got to get to know each other a little better. Let's see. Oh, this is kind of weird, but I did want to include it. It was like a week or two ago now that Penny reached out to me and she said, do you ever feel like people are just going to abandon you randomly? Just one day everything's going to be fine and the next they're going to be gone and you're going to be left wondering what the hell happened or why they even decided to stick around for as long as they did if they were just going to jump ship. And when something gets a little rough, I guess, or I don't even know. Maybe not even then, but it's just flaky ass people doing weird ass shit. Which is, I always think about that too. So I can't really blame her, but I really hope, I hope she's not thinking about me, man. I'm not planning on going anywhere. I do recognize there was a big emphasis on me being oh my god, I haven't found anybody else like Penny yet. And it just sucks. I can understand if she heard that and was I'm not saying this is what she thinks at all. I'm just saying it's a possibility, right? I can't get into her brain, so I don't know exactly what she's thinking or not thinking. But I'm thinking it's a possibility that she thinks I'm one of those people. I can guarantee you I'm not. I just want to find more people to add to my circle. I'm not trying to really remove anybody unless they I don't know, act up like a fucking maniac. Unless they act like me. There you go. Let's see. Yeah, I just hope Penny's not worried about the state of... It always feels weird to me to use the word relationship. Because it's like, you can use the word relationship for something that has no romantic ties. Or like, anything like that. You know? But I hope she is not concerned about the status of our relationship. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say on that front. Let's see. Anyways, I think I forgot to journal this, but at some point in the week, I asked Michael to link his Xbox account to his Discord account someday, so that me and Desmond can start watching movies with him. I need to read some The Andromeda Strain before I head to bed for the night, so I start doing that. I don't need to, but I want to. So 2:30 a.m. I finish the book, and it's good. But as I said before, it's not quite as good as Jurassic Park or Sphere. Oh God, stop smacking the fucking microphone, you maniac. Yeah, I think his other books did please me a little better. It's not to say that The Andromeda Strain is a bad book. There are definitely some great moments in there. Anyways, we're moving on. Thursday, July 9th, set 76, day 7. At 2 p.m., I wake up, I shit, shower, brush, and I get dressed for work. I drive in, I say hi to Tina, and goodbye to Bernard. Then I cook for a while until Ben arrives, cook some more, and then I also start reading the book Neuromancer. Apparently it is just cyberpunk, but like a book, and not like a tabletop game or a video game. It's just a book with a story. So I'm gonna read Neuromancer, see if it's any good. Kind of hooked me today while I was reading it, so I think I'm going to finish it. Hopefully in time for next episode. Moving on, 4:30 p.m. I take my break and I chat with a match that I made on Tinder. We will name her if I find it appropriate in the future. 6:45 p.m. I drive home and I get ready to record as my mom is leaving to hang out with my sister and her family, which leaves me home alone. I'm so alone, so alone. What's that? That's the song that Donkey sings in Shrek, right? Oh man, now I have to go look it up. Because this episode wasn't interesting enough, you know? So I'm going to add something here at the end. Shrek Alone song. Here we go. I'm all alone.
Why are you following me? I'll tell you why. 'Cause I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me. My problems have all gone. There's no one to deride me. But you gotta have friends. Stop singing! Well, it's no wonder you don't have any friends. Wow. Only a true friend would be that truly honest.
Hell yeah. Dude, Donkey, he'd be fun to hang out with, right? He's making waffles. Anyways, we're going to do the outro now. Let's see. How do I do the outro? I forgot. That's right. This week's rating is, what would I rate this week? Let's go with a 6.5 out of 10. This week was a 6.5 out of 10. The word count that I have journaled up until this point is 122,747 words journaled. Holy fucking crap. That's a lot of words. That's more words than your typical novel. How awesome is that? I'm going to go ahead and end this episode now, because I really don't have anything else to fucking say to you. Am I really making a podcast, or am I just jerking off?